Hello, everyone. Good morning. Well, it's not morning. I have my robe on. It's just like morning. I've got my kimono ready to do this fun practice. So I don't know if you've noticed the poem, but it's just a fun little um, poem that I found about bones. And the reason we're going to um, read this poem today is that we name parts in this bone dreaming meditation, bone dreaming Taoist practice, a Qigong inspired practice as well. And I have been thinking about grounding and what is the most grounding thing that I know. And of course, it's making contact with the earth itself, whether that's in nature, whether that's allowing this waking down practices that we've been doing in the last, we did it on Saturday, but really this embodied sense coming into the earthen element of the body and then letting that earthen element begin to drop even further, mind into body, body into the seat, the whole mind body being then down and into the earth. And I thought, I can't think of anything more grounding, more solid sensed than the bones themselves. And then I recollected a practice that I did with Lama Surya Das when he was here, and it was called bone dreaming, a bone dreaming practice. It is not one I do often, I must tell you truthfully, but I think when we investigate it together, what you're going to notice is that it's actually very similar to the practices that we did just the week before when we did the neurosoma practices, right? This really getting embodied, really being present, awake, enlivened, knowing in the body. And, you know, all of this trauma research now, all of the research on really the best practices are the practices that are enlivened by our physical felt sense, not something we're thinking about. And so we're really expanding both our understanding of meditation and its usefulness to our neurobiology and our neuroplasticity. And I thought the bone dreaming practice might be one that you would also enjoy. So we're going to be doing this one today. I don't know if there's any healthcare person here. I know Carrie is one. But there's anybody who knows those parts and would like to read the poem, please come on and do so. I think it'd be pretty fun to have somebody do that. And we're going to then let go of the words, right? Because the words are less valuable than that felt sense, than that embodied sense that we're going to be working for, cultivating today. So anybody? It's just a fun little thing. I'm not even sure who wrote it, by the way. Anybody want to come on and give that a read?
I'll give it a read. I'm a nutritionist. We love bones.
Okay, Lisa, you guys are all about the calcium.
We certainly are.
You are calcium rich.
Okay.
So thank you for that. What I'm going to suggest that other people do, since I don't know that you will, some of you may want to see the poem, but if you're not, if you're really in a position, I'm going to recommend lying down for this particular practice because we're really going to move again into the bones, beginning in the area of the hands and the feet, and then go forward. If you don't feel like you need the words, if you don't feel like you need it, you can begin settling. And if you want to lie down and settle comfortably, feel free to turn off your video. That's not required for us in this practice. We're not going to be doing a lot of talking today. We've already done it. So feel free doing that while Lisa gets ready to read this. And Lisa, can you see the whole thing?
Yes.
Okay, can you see that bottom part where there's a little key?
Yes.
Okay.
Only but the only thing that's at the bottom, oh, it just went away.
Okay, you can only see it when I do that.
Yeah, I just saw it. It went away. Right now, I just see the little blue box.
Okay, let me see if I can reduce this a little bit because I recognize that sometimes I have this on more than 100% when I don't intend it.
You want to just reduce the font on it, is what you're thinking?
I may end up right there because if I do, will you be okay?
Yeah,
All right, let's try
I'm
it.
pretty sure. Just as long as you don't go to an 8.
Well, I'll be testing more than your bones there, won't I?
Yeah, really.
That was just a little bit. How's that looking?
I don't see anything past the poem. I don't know. Maybe someone else does. I think Tanya just said she did. Not sure why.
Not sure. I don't know that
I can see the poem, and then I see the word key in parentheses, and then it says metatarsals fingers is what I see on my screen.
so it's everybody. So
No.
Lisa, why don't you go ahead and then I'll just move it up at the
Okay.
end. Let's not make a big deal out of this.
Okay. I think others are
Anytime
saying
you're-
the same too.
I can translate the key as well if you can't see it.
Oh, Carrie is there. I didn't think you were there. Okay.
Thanks.
I'm here.
Oh. Head to toe, we're full of bones. All this we know for a fact. If you are curious about the number, it's 206 to be exact. Metacarpals help you write. Metatarsals let you run. Our bones are hard and white, and the names are kind of fun. The cranium keeps our head strong. The femur keeps our legs long. The mandible lets us sing, and the humerus helps us swing. There are many, many little bones, and several big ones too. But for all of us to keep them strong, there are things we must do with that. Run and play and drink your milk to keep your bones hard and strong. If we take good care of them, they will hold us all day long.
Thank you. We know certainly that Rilke was not the one who wrote that poem. I feel very sure that that was not him. And really the name of the poem isn't, and the bones are not really the point. It was just a way of enjoying, reflecting, recollecting how important all parts of the body are, including things like our bones that we very, very frequently take for granted. And so I'm going to end this share of bones right now and come back here. And so feel free to begin to lie down if that feels right for you. And for those of you who don't, who get a little sleepy, who are going to be drifting off, which is not really the intention of the practice, right? Not quite the intention. So if you know you're going to get a bit drowsy and you feel like you can recline slightly, but also be wakeful, attentive of mind, that's a little bit helpful. I'm going to sit up so that you can hear me best. And I'm going to assume you can. Let me check that. Bone dreaming meditation. Once we do it, I'll see what your thoughts are for yourself as you compare it to the neurosoma practice that we've done. So lying down, feeling the sense of the solidness, the maybe firmness or even hardness that might be available as a felt sense, both around you and within you. Something essentially structural holding you. We sometimes call that the skeleton, sometimes musculoskeletal system, but getting a felt sense. Inviting the attention to begin to move from the narrating fixating, identifying, preferencing, judging, list making functions. If you can, invite that mind home directly into the experience of the weightedness, both of the body and the surface upon which you rest. Breathing into that earthen form. And then with the out-breath, settling the body into that sense of the earth, our mother, holding us. Letting the body relax into that embrace of this loving mother, cradling us, holding us. Even a certain kind of energy pulling us into her. And while we're resting here in this body in this way, let's recollect for a moment the intentions for our practice. May we cause least harm, beginning with this very body, with this very mind, with this tender and precious heart. May we cause least harm. And may we then contribute something to the good. And may we do so not only for ourselves, for this body, heart, and mind. May we do so for those we love, those we care about, those in need. In ever expanding waves of attention and intention, letting this goodness radiate out. Beyond our heart, throughout our whole body. And then in its time, beyond the body, through all those other bodies out there. And then may we recollect someone for whom we wish to dedicate this practice this evening. May we picture them, call their name, invite their presence. We'll breathe them in this practice today, right into the mirror. May this practice be offered to all beings everywhere, without exception, omitting none, freeing us all. And then sitting or lying, just beginning to incline the mind. Gently, slowly, there's no rush. inviting the mind home to the body, and really just holding the body in this wide lens, a sense of the body lying or sitting here, breathing. And then imagining the sense of the breath waving over the body. Gentle waves of attention, of care, waving over the body with each breath. And waving the breath downward, little points of light and energy waving over the body on the out breath, going downward, down the whole of the body, and into and beyond the feet. See if you can sense that little energetic sense of attention and contact in the body. It's almost like a bunch of tiny little pricklies, as an example. Sometimes we can feel that most easily either in the feet or the fingers. A sense of aliveness and energy. In the Qigong tradition, of course, we might say Qi, available in the extremities, the fingers, the toes, coursing throughout the whole body. And where we place the attention along with the breath in the body, we're really inviting a greater sense of wholeness, of unification, of connection, of regulation, and healing. And we know this throughout really many different schemas. We know it in the science, we know it in the healing arts, we know it in the meditation traditions. We know it in spiritual texts and teachings. And I'd like you to see if you can make contact with that energetic sense. Might move beyond the surface of the body, a little bit deeper beneath the surface, beneath the skin's layer. And then make contact with the breath somewhere here in the breath scale. Move it down the body on the out breath. And where you place that attention with the breath, see if you can sense that aliveness, that energy, that healing capacity. And if the waving seems to be overwhelming or you can't make sufficient contact, and I couldn't begin that way with myself, then what I'd like you to do is see if you can find a place in the body where you can make contact with that tingling, light, vibrational sense. And for me, it's very easy to do in the area of the hands. And then for now, just breathe in and out, waving the attention and the breath over and through the hands. And you're likely to feel that vibrational sense, maybe at the skin surface, and then maybe in the soft tissue. And I'd like you to see now if you can begin to get that sense, that enlivened, energetic sense, not only in the soft tissue, but really beginning to focus very specifically on the area of the very tiny bones in the area of the hands. Without those bones, without that marrow, we couldn't be alive. Maybe a sense of weight, of structure, a sense of form. One of the ways that it is suggested that you make contact with this is to imagine little tiny tubes for the bones, that you imagine this not a solid fixed entity at all, but little mini conduits, let's say tubes in the hands that are the bones, and that we breathe right in through the fingertips, inviting that kind of a light, vibrational sense, a healing sense, breathing it in right through the fingertips, and then letting it move throughout the bones in the hand. Touching the surface of the bone, the outside of the tube, feeling its strength, its firmness. It's holding this hand. And then in the bone dreaming practice, we're going to move into the bone itself. So if we're imagining that as a tube, we're actually going to breathe right into the marrow, right into the depth of the bone, which is not empty, but is completely regenerative. Feeling the physical felt sense as best you can. And if you can't, you can imagine it. Breathing in on the in-breath into the fingertips. Feeling that vibrational sense. Moving up the hand or down the fingers slowly. Using the breath as the directors. And if your hands are clasped or folded, what we understand is that to hold the hands upward and open is actually a little more inspiring for this felt sense. So then you might try turning the hands, letting them rest on their backside, opening the hand, breathing out in through the fingertips, moving down from the fingertips into the knuckle. Imagining these light tubes, regenerative healing, complete. Continue through the hand into the palm. And then into the thumb. Make sure you include the thumb. And then with each in-breath, we're going to continue moving up now beyond the hand into the wrist. We're feeling into the earthen element, that sense of groundedness, rootedness, solidness, regenerative, creative, impulsion towards life, moving right through the bones. Into the bones of the wrists. And then up with the in-breath into the bones of the lower arms. If you don't notice a particular vivid sensation, that's really not of any concern. We're really making contact with something much deeper. The sense of aliveness, the aliveness of the bones, their healing and regenerative nature, their stability, their strength, their support. They're holding us, just like the earth. Moving up the lower arms into the elbow. You may notice many nerves, nerve endings there. And I want you to breathe in and deeper into the bones of the joint. As we have done in the past, we've offered phrases of loving kindness, of compassion, and care. And you may do that as a whispered note. But I really want the attention this evening to be on that sensation of energy coursing through the body, healing us, making us whole. Light and life moving through us, right through the bone. Moving in and up from the elbows, up into the upper arms. Thicker, more weighted, more solid. Can you feel that? And more energy. Seeing if you can keep the hands open. And where you feel like you get a little flag, a little ragged in your energy, you can begin again by breathing right in through that fingertips where that felt sense is pretty vivid. And breathe it up into the upper arms. How do you know these upper arms are alive? Generating billions of cells. There may be a warmth, a sense of activity, energy. What do you notice? And then moving from the upper arms up and into the shoulder. As you're breathing in, letting that energy move right in through those light tubes, up the arms and into the shoulders. You can visualize light, radiant light, luminous light moving through the bones. Up to the shoulders. And then we're going to move back for just a second across the back into the shoulder blades. And then moving back to the shoulder cap. We're going to now move into the front, into the scapula, the collarbone. And there is some advantage, we know, from placing the hands in parts of the body to make more contact, not just a tension. So you can actually place the fingers here along the scapula and place the index finger right on the little two bones right here near the area of the throat. And I discovered just today when I was doing this practice that those are not even for me. There's like a 1/4 inch or more off. It's just interesting. And see if you can place that energy once again from those hands, the light tube in the hands, the bones right into the bones of the scapula. And you may want to travel the fingers lightly over the bone. Feeling once again its aliveness in the bone itself. And then we're going to travel up for a moment, just up the cervical spine. Many tiny bones in this part of the body. Using that visualization of light tube and that physical felt sense using the hands if it's helpful. Up into the area of the skull, and then you can actually place the hands on the skull, feeling its weight regenerating as we make contact. You can offer a light massage there, just making sure you make contact with the bone itself. And then feeling up to the top of the head. And then very gently, you can just hold the head for a moment. Feeling the aliveness of the skull. And then coming around, you can place the hands really at the forehead. the offer of protection. Stability, and then move the hands gently down the face, including the jaw. The cheeks and the chin. Gently touching. And for some people, the tap, it works a little more effectively than the hold. See which inspires you. We're not trying to feel some other way. We're trying to feel into the truth of this body right here in the bones. The aliveness of the body, the healing, regenerative capacity of the body that comes right from the bone and the bone marrow. And then touching gently the front of the spine. And then moving down gently into the sternum. And then little bits of gentle pressure, just feeling the bone. And then taking the fingers, you can actually feel right from the sternum, right outward, feeling into the upper ribs. And then making contact with the mid ribs and the lower ribs. And though you might be a little systematic, actually just seeing where the fingers want to go. What do the fingers want to know about the bones? We can picture the bones if you have some sense of them, but more importantly, truthfully, it's to feel. And then dropping down the sternum almost to its tip, very near the heart. And then very lightly touching in, feeling where the tenderness is there. And we can use this tender spot directly as a portal. We can breathe right in, bringing that light, that healing, that contact and attention right in through that tender spot, moving throughout the bones in the body, like a little electric current or light current moving throughout the whole bone system of the body. Radiating from this point around the front of the ribs and then around the back of the ribs. Touching into the back ribs as well, especially if you're lying down, you'll be able to make contact. Grounding right to the bone. Letting that soft animal part of the body just relax. Letting the breath wave over the bone, bringing energy, light, healing. And moving back up the body, back up to the cervical spine at the front of the throat. We're going to go to the back side once again. So you might place the hands or fingers there for a moment just to feel where that is. The fine bones, the top of the spine. Maybe the curvature of the spine. And moving down the spine, sending that light, that tingling, that energy from the spine outward. Moving down, touching into the shoulder blades again. Radiating from the spine outward. And then into the mid-spine, the thoracic spine, making contact. Feeling the sense of the bone resting. Resting on the earth. Letting the spine imprint itself, releasing. Moving down into the lower spine. And then into the pelvic girdle on the back side. The base of the spine, the sits bones, the pelvis. Feeling the weight of the body pressing against the bone pressing into the surface. No distress, just energy, light, healing. Coming around to the front of the hip bone, the pubis. Feeling into the bone itself. And if it helps, once again, you can place the hands right there on the hip bones. Or gently place the hands in the back of the lower back if there's particular sensitivities, vulnerabilities there. Inviting that light, that healing, that attention and that care. With the breath and the hands. And one's caring attention. And letting the breath continue to wave over letting it wash over the bone as well. And then from the hips themselves, we'll move into the large ball of the upper legs. I think they call that the femur. And for some people, there's injury, a little arthritis on the surface of the bone. See if we can move into the bone. And breathing over, waving that breath over the ball of the upper leg down through the big bone of the upper legs. And then directly into the bone. Subtle body. Moving the attention, the healing breath in the hands. Remembering along with visualization, this is many sources of contact. And some will be stronger for you in parts of the body than others. We bring them in. Moving down and into the knees. And down beyond the knees into the lower legs and the bones there. The shin. Down into the ankles. Beyond the ankle into the heel bone. The foot. And see if we can make contact with the sense of the many bones right here in the feet. The tops of the bones, the bottoms. Inviting that gentle and kind You're carrying the tension. Deep into the body. And then from the bones in the feet, moving into the bones of the toes. The bones in the sides of the feet, very thin. Many bones. And then moving beyond the toes, right out the body. Gathering up that energy, the earth energy from all around. It's vibrant, alive, and very present. And then begin breathing right up, right through those light tubes in the toes, lighting up the whole body. Moving as slowly, going at your own pace. With each in-breath, we're going to just breathe in to the whole skeletal system of the body. And once we get up to the hips, if you want to begin breathing in also through the fingertips, you can feel free to do that. Continuing up the body, up the arms. You can gather attention at the base of the spine and use that spine itself as a portal, breathing in through the base of the spine. Continuing up the body, up the arms, up the spine, all the way up. Back up the cervical spine, up to the top of the head. And resting in this whole body skeleton. And then see where your attention is being drawn. Is it to the face, the bones in the face, a particular part of the body that has that sensitivity or vulnerability? And offer some extra attention there. And then we're going to gather all that energy from that whole body. We're going to gather it in the area of the hands, the palms, the fingers of the hands. Let it all be directed there. And I'm going to open my hands once again to invite that focus and that attention. Feel that light tingling. And we're going to gather that healing light, energy, attention. And we're going to then direct it to that special one. We're going to open those hands and offer it to that other for whom we dedicated this practice today. Sending it their way. And if there's a particular injury, illness, or disease, you may just gently visualize, in fact, placing those hands very gently close to that area. You can place it close to your own heart. Making contact with them in that way as well. May they too be fortified, stabilized, strengthened, and held. May you offer these very purifying, regenerating, and healing qualities to them. Right from the bone. May we all have happiness and the causes for happiness. May we be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May we take great joy at our good fortune and wish for the same good fortune of others. May we rest in the great arms of wisdom and compassion, free from affliction. May we all be well. May we all have ease. Generated right from the bone. And may this practice contribute. This day is good. And let this day be done. So be it. And so when I say we practice right to the bone, now you can say for sure it's true that we do. It's already 9 o'clock and it's a beautiful time to finish and continue our rest. As you settle those bones today, please be well. I'll look forward to seeing some of you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. for the Bodhisattva Path, where we will be talking about Virya Paramita, joyous energy and effort. I'll look forward to seeing you then. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I hope that this practice has been of some benefit to you. I am counting on that as well as to others. So thank you again this evening. Blessings to everyone. May you be well. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good evening.
Good evening.